Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I want to bring something that Empire Light Media, as I like to call them, the Zateos, the Drop Site News, the Breaking Points, the Secular Talks, they're not mainstream, but they ain't Muqawwama media. They still believe in the sham, the absolute infantile belief that the electoral politics in America actually mean a good goddamn about anything and how things are run. It don't matter, and it hasn't mattered for a long time. Trump ain't the problem, Trump's the symptom, so on and so forth. So the idea of Iran becoming a failed state, that is alarm bells that are rightfully being sounded, because they're saying the lack of a plan, Trump going into this war, is actually the plan itself, to foment chaos, to balkanize the region and make Iran ungoverned and ungovernable. Now, I see their point for that, for sure, for sure. I would, counter that by saying that really doesn't fit the machinations of keeping the resource stranglehold on a region. They definitely are more along the lines of wanting some sort of, some some sort of calmness in there so they can, reap the reward of the oil fields and the Strait of Hormuz, so on and so forth. However, regardless, Iran, I don't have yaqeen in it, but they won't become a failed state. And that is because of the exact reason that, they made the mistake of the first six missiles when they made Khamenei a martyr. It's their lack of understanding about Iran, which is the lack of understanding about the Shia, the mentality of the Shia, the philosophy of the Shia, which is so different from the mindset of, the Western world, the imperial world, really the secular materialist world. And there's a really good thing that came out. Speaking of broken points in Empire Light Media. I want to bring this up right here. We have no, it's that one right here. So they brought clip from them, but it's talking about PDP Hegseth, Secretary of Fake Plates.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
And so he is saying that the fake news does their part by trying to make the president look bad because some tragic things happen. Can you imagine a more disgraceful statement where he is chastising us for covering the deaths of American soldiers? American soldiers.
Boom. Covering the deaths of the American soldiers. That's what this is all about. Is about how they're going to cover the casualty count. And, you have people like Ritter saying, oh, that's impossible for them to do. Maybe it's a few more than six, but Iran's saying 550, 650. You know what? I have more, respect for the estimations of Iran and others that, yeah, it's in the hundreds by now, more than likely. They didn't fully evacuate those bases, whatever. But that's besides the point. Even if it's six, even if it's 10, the fact that they're getting pissed that this is being put out there and we shouldn't focus on the deaths, it's a different mindset. Whereas look at us. This is from, I think, 12 days ago. I want to remove this one here. Bring this up here. This is El Manar. This is our boys with yellow flags, the Party of God military media mourns martyrs claimed by Israeli aggression on Bekaa. Our boys in yellow have held a funeral procession in Baalbek for the martyred commander Hussein Mohammed Yaghi Sadiq and the martyr Hussein Siblani, who were killed along with other martyrs in Friday's Israeli aggression in Bekaa. The procession was attended by a large crowd, including members of parliament, political figures, and the Grand Jafarite Mufti Sheikh Ahmed Qabalan, who led the funeral prayers. In this address, Sheikh Qabalan affirmed that the resistance capabilities comprise the power protecting Lebanon, emphasizing that the blood of the martyrs will not be shed in vain, for behind them is national strength. Subhanallah. His Eminence stated that the problem lies in the submissive political discourse amidst the country boiling with crisis. The military media, Boys in Yellow, posted via Telegram the photos of the martyrs claimed by the Zionist aggression. And then it goes on to name the martyrs. Let's just name them really quick. Hussein Muhammad Yaghi, Muhammad Ibrahim al-Musawi, Ali Zaid al-Musawi, Hussein Khayrullah al-Din, Ahmad Hussein al-Hajj al-Hassan, Qasim Ali Mahdi, Ahmed Muhammad Zaitar. And hard for me to read in translation without the Arabic there, words like that. So, A'udhu billah if I butchered it, astaghfirullah. Hassanain Yasser al-Siblani. And this is, Amanar. So, listed the names. Posted it via Telegram, proud of it. That the resistance capability comprised the power protecting Lebanon, emphasizing that the blood of the martyrs will not be shed in vain, for behind them is national strength. We highlight our martyrs. We highlight our dead. We're not like, the strap the thing and kaboomy boom like the Takfiris. That ain't what our martyrdom about. Our martyrdom is, going and doing what's necessary and putting our lives on the line, running towards the possibility of death. Yeah, not being reckless, but at the same time, we accept it, we embrace it, because, this life is just a journey. So, that's the difference between us, the Shia, and you. You know you're doing a disgraceful thing, and you won't highlight, because there's no martyrdom with you guys, because there's no honor with you guys. You're in love with the world, worldly possessions. You're doing this for ego. You're doing this for vanity. You're doing this for materialism. Aside from it being an existential war for Iran, and, maybe not fully existential for America, but once we get our asses handed to us, it's really going to be the end of the world as we know it. Like, things are changing, man. So anyhow, that is one of the fundamental differences. And it goes back to, when Imam Ali alayhi salam slept in the bed in place of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam during the Hijrah. He was the one who volunteered. It goes back to the Battle of Badr, where everybody else was being timid, and a young Ali in his early 20s pulled the sword and defended Islam in the beginning, and was the one who had over 50 or 60% of the confirmed kills, as they would say in that battle. The Battle of Uhud, where I'm not trying to, disparage the figures of our brothers and sisters who are Sunni, but this is a fact of history. We should be able to talk about this maturely. When Umar ibn al-Khattab and Uthman ran away at the Battle of Uhud, some say, I think it was Uthman in Sunni books, I want to say Kanz al-Amal has it, or it might be in Tabari. He ran so far that he didn't return for 3 days. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam stayed. We have the battle of Khandaq. When 3 times, it took till the 3rd time when Imam Ali alayhi salam accepted single combat. Umar didn't stand up. Abu Bakr didn't stand up. None of the other quote unquote champions stood up. Imam Ali alayhi salam stood up. And on the 3rd time he was allowed to go fight. Khaybar, 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 Khaybar. And this is what we're going through right now. Khaybar. Who was it? Who was it that led the charge against the gate of the fort of Khaybar? It was Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. These are our role models. Running towards danger. Running towards possible death for the good of humanity. And just like Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam ran towards Khaybar, ran towards Khaybar. This is what these people don't get. Like the sneakos, God bless them. Hopefully people mature about, Lakmia, the matam. It's not a fashion statement, man. It's not a trend. So inshallah ta'ala, it's starting to enter these people's hearts, not just like, ooh, this trend, this ritual trend. But it was Hala VFT the other day. I watch his stuff sometimes. He's talking about, like, they even admitted if Iran falls, Greater Israel, man, Greater Israel, these Chosenites are going to start oppressing more and taking more if Iran falls. Who has it always been? It's been the Shia. It's been the Shia in Yemen. It's been the Shia in Lebanon. It's been the Shia in Iraq. The Shia in Iraq. Who's going to go? Who's going to go against these Kurdish traitors if they end up being more treacherous than they already are? I have some people who, I may or may not know, who have information there. Our Shia in Iraq are already heading north right now to face potential martyrdom, to go to the call of the struggle. I don't want to say the J word because, the cowards in America, they're afraid of that word and they don't understand it, just like they don't understand Tashayyuh. It's always been the Shia, the Shia, the Shia, because this is our mentality. Go into danger, sacrifice yourself for the good of the collective, sacrifice yourself for the good of humanity, because this life is just but it's nothing. We're going to go into further the differences because, maybe if, these kuffar, they have this understanding about what it means, what the Shia mentality is. They're going to understand that they need to pull out now. They need to pull out while they're ahead because there ain't no winning this. It's going to drag you down further and further and further. It was the Shia that dragged you down in Iraq. And when you put Daesh against to suppress us, these Wahhabi takfiris, it was the Shia who defeated Daesh when the dog got off its leash too much. And now Daesh is, they just came back into the White House again. You love the other Islam. You've rubbed shoulders with the other Islam, these takfiris. And that's the Islam you have an understanding of. You don't understand Islam of Ahl Bayt alayhimussalat Islam, and that's why you keep underestimating us, you keep misjudging us, and you don't realize that we've had the long game this whole time. So anyhow, la'anatullah. Oh, I forgot to give a salawat for the martyrs. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. But la'anatullah on every one of those transfer cases coming back. La'anatullah on anybody who supports this war, who supports this president, who supports the oppression and the aggression against sovereign nations like this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, soften your hearts or harden you in your ignorance so you commit more and more and more of this evil in this life so you'll be punished more and more and more in the next. The seal on your hearts is punishment enough. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.